That's right. It's time for some rampant speculation about what orcs are going to get in 11th edition Warhammer 40K because we know what's in the Armageddon launch box, but do we know what else is coming out? Well, sort of. Let's get into it. All right. For those of you new to this or watching this afterward, how this works is we get the stream going. We give everyone a couple of minutes to get here, grab their red squig, and then we get into it. So if you are watching this on replay, give it about 5 minutes. You usually see down there right about there, it'll go whoop, where everybody fast forwards to, and you'll be good to go. You won't miss anything in between here and there. But all that being said, if you're here live, welcome. Welcome to another Monday Night Hobby Hangout. We have been doing these consistently since I want to say about last November now. So yeah, we're getting on now to the point where I get DMs and messages going, hey, we like live stream tonight, right? Like, yes, of course, live stream tonight. So let's give the link a chance to get out there, get everyone a chance to get in here, and then we will get into it. Yeah. And this is the third live stream in 7 days because we did last week Monday, and then we did Friday after the reveal of all this stuff, right? And now here we are again. So yeah, definitely working the live stream for everyone super often, which has been great. Honestly, I've been really enjoying it because I get that feedback, right? I get to talk to you guys right there in the chat. Like right now, I got Crimson Chained and James Lawless on here. Wow, fellas, how's it going? Oh, you'll be going to sleep seriously. And hey, that's all right. If you're not here for a long time, it's okay. You're here for a good time, and you can always watch the replay when you wake up because I make sure that these go onto YouTube as soon as we are done live streaming them. So you're not going to miss anything. All right. Kerpatow. Hey, by the way, guys, did you know that we hit over 1,000 peeps on our Discord? That's right. There's over 1,000 mech boys on the Discord. That's crazy. Whoa. Like, that is absolutely fantastic. Hey, Real Jazeer, greetings. Thanks, James Wallace. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great time to be an orc, right? I mean, my gosh, we've got good eating, as they say. Very good eating these days. So, all right. Hey, Azamek, 2401, quack to you. Charles Louder, 8801, log on. Death by Chair, hello. Nice to see everybody here. Hoovy Bear asks, does that mean the Discord can form a good old wall? The Discord can form a very big wall now. In the world of Discord servers, believe it or not, 1,000 is actually really big. Most hobby Discord servers sit around 100 active members. Obviously, like there's some really big ones out there, or really big ones connected to like massive YouTube channels. But yeah, for a generalized Discord server, that's pretty big, pretty rad. So yeah, that's whacking good. So yeah, we can definitely form a wall on the Discord. Hey, Dirt Hermit, how you doing, buddy? Punch 7724 on. Hoping for looted tankers. Boy, you and me both. Looted tank rules would absolutely make my decade. Yeah. Number one, I mean, we did the whole like top 5 things orc players want, and looted tank was what, number 1, right? Like we all want looted tank. There's no question there. So yeah, looted tank for the win for sure here. Hey, Deflus and Ashes, good to see you. Assault Defend K checking in. Good to see you. Big Mac says, I'm on the big 40K Discord. I think we're sitting at 21,000 people, not sure active. Right. And that's huge. 21,000 is huge. And that's like all of 40K, right? So think about 1,000 people that are just connected to this channel. Like, that's crazy big. We've only got 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. So 1 out of every 9 people is actually bothered to like go to the Discord. I think a big part of that is our contest, which, by the way, contest alert, whoop, 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 contest alert, whoop. Okay. Those of you doing the New Year More Orcs contest, I have an end date for you. They have not announced when in June the Armageddon box comes out. And originally it was going to be like, well, when the box comes out, that's when we'll stop. But that's not fair. Because 1, not everyone's going to get the box on the same day. And 2, like it leaves it kind of up in the air. And 3, there's a grot. Want to say good night to everyone? All right, bud. Okay, but yeah, so that's not fair to everyone. So what we're gonna do is you have until the end of June. That is a really cool thing we are gonna loot from a game called Dust Tactics. So yeah, I'm doing a video on this. This is a defunct tabletop game that had really wild minis that are very, very, very orcish. So coming soon. Thanks for giving everybody a sneak peek they weren't supposed to. Stinking grats. You're doing a great job, everybody. But yes, so because we don't know the release date, and also I don't know if any of you have seen over the last, I don't know, decade or so, Games Workshop often has to delay their launch in Australia, New Zealand, and sometimes in Japan. I don't know why, but it happens often. So I also didn't want, because our contest is open nationwide, I didn't want our contest to like have this stepped ending. So you have until the end of June. No matter when the Armageddon launch box comes, it doesn't matter. You have until June 30th. So what we're going to do is June 30th at midnight, we are shutting it down. And then come July 1st, that's when we're going to, announce some stuff. I don't know that we'll do it exactly on July 1st, but the July 4th holiday weekend, we will do a live stream where I'm going to go through everybody's final pictures. We'll pull up the picture in here and everybody's final photos. We're going to go through each and every one of them, highlight my favorites, all that stuff. We'll draw the winners, the whole nine. All right. So today is May 4th. You've got until June 30th. So you've got almost 2 full months to finish your new year, new army entry. Now, remember, totally free to do that. And if you haven't started yet, or you haven't like officially gone on Discord and tagged me, go ahead and do it. You can still enter. 2 months is a long time. I am very low barrier to entry. And again, you can enter any Warhammer army, even if it's just more orcs. You don't even have to enter 40K. You can do Age of Sigmar. You can do Old World. You could do a Necromunda warband. You could do a Blood Bowl team. You don't even have to do Games Workshop. If you wanted to do, Conflict 47 or Bolt Action or whatever, or Trench Crusade, you can. We have sections for literally everything. And there is no minimum or maximum size as to what an army is. And it doesn't have to be new. Like, you could have a whole pile of stuff that's in your pile of opportunity you've been wanting to do. You could have some used kits that you're, redoing the paint job on. It's up to you. Low barrier to entry. What I want is just to see really honking cool armies by the end of June. You give me really honking cool armies, I'm giving you entries into the contest. Because remember, the winner gets the 11th edition Armageddon launch box. For me personally, like, I am going out and retail spending my own teeth on it and then shipping it to you at my cost anywhere in the world. So there's no contest vagaries when it's these third parties doing the contest and whatnot. It is as straight up as can be. So all you guys, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you go to Discord and you are in the contest. Now, if you want extra entries, there is one way to get extra entries, and that is to go to our website at theredonesgofaster.com and buy any merch whatsoever that has the New Year More Orcs logo on it. There's a whole section for it. You could grab a sticker, you could grab a shirt, you could grab a grot shirt, you could grab whatever you want, whatever color you want. A mug. The mug is really cool. It's got color on the inside, which is rad. So your red squig actually looks red. But yeah, go grab anything you want from the merch store. Every single item you buy from the New Year More Orcs selection now to June 30th gets you an extra entry, totally free. Well, I mean, you got to buy it, but you know what I mean, right? So yeah, extra entries at no additional charge. DeFlu Snatcher says it's a lower barrier of entry than the lowest part of a badonkadonk orc boy's backside. It really, really is. It's lower than a snotling. Like, if you can't get over this bar, you might want to check that there's no gravity where you are. So, Real Jazeer with an actual real question, which is, should my beast snag and knob go on a 40 millimeter? That one I have honestly struggled with. So for those of you out of the picture, living under a rock, all of the orc stuff that got revealed on Friday for the Armageddon launch box, all of the boss knobs for the boy squads are on 40 millimeter bases. And the new big boss, which is the new lieutenant, is also on a 40 millimeter base. So it's presumed that all of the orc knobs are going to go to a 40 millimeter base. First of all, flash kits, which are knobs, are already on 40s, so we're good to go there. Mega knobs are already on 40s. I don't think they're going up a size until they redo that kit because they're tiny on 40s. And then, again, everything in the new box is going to 40s, plus the Rekka crew, so the Breaker Boys and the Tank Buses, the knob is on a 40. So out of all of that, that only leaves a few kits of orcs that have a current knob that wouldn't be on a 40, and that would be the Commandos, which I definitely think they're just going to throw a 40 millimeter in there. Here, in fact, where is I already like literally the first thing I did after that stream was glue my Commando knob to a 40 millimeter, and he looks fantastic. He is large size, just like all the other knobs. So I don't even care if they change it in the codex. I'm doing it, and I think it looks better. But yeah, pretty darn obvious. Commando knob is going to be okay. There's the Ludas and Burnas kit, but that kit has gone on it out of stock, not restocking, whatever, last chance to buy. We're probably getting those as a new kill team, so those will be updated when the kit is updated. And the only other thing and then there's obviously the knobs kit itself, but again, heavily rumored we're getting new knobs either as a kill team or as a 40k kit. Obviously, the current knob kit's not going to work anyway, so they're going to turn all those into 40s. So that leaves the only other kit that doesn't have a 40 millimeter knob, that probably isn't going to just get a base or get redone within this next year, is the Beast Snagga Boys. And the Beast Snagga Boys knob is done like the knob in the old boys kit. He uses the regular Beast Snagga legs and then has a slightly taller torso. He is tiny. He was always tiny. He's so tiny that I don't really like him. I don't like. I like the Beast Snaggas themselves. Like I like my squad, but the knob was never big enough for me. So I don't know what they're going to do. My suspicion is because the Beast Snaggas are a little weird in orc culture and in new orc lore. I suspect that when they do the Beast Snagga data sheet, they're not necessarily going to call him a knob. They might call him something else to allow him to stay on a 32. I'm not sure, but I tried gluing one of mine to a 40. He looks awful. He's super tiny. He's as short as Squatty Knob. Yeah, not my deal. So I just don't know what to do with it. So right now, mine is staying on a 32, but that is the only one. Literally every other knob I own is already on a 40, and I love it. 10 out of 10. Cannot recommend enough. Omnissiah Sphinx 6274 asks, is Snapshoot the new Overwatch? No, it is different. There is still Overwatch and there is Snapshoot, and it's different because now they're changing it. They mentioned this in the live stream, and then I get in one of the articles that came later. Overwatch now, so right now in 10th and a half edition, Overwatch you can only declare once, and you've got like one chance to do it. So your opponent moves a squad, and you have to decide whether or not to Overwatch that squad before he moves on to the next one. And so what they do is they try to bait you, right? They'll put this like really juicy target on, like, don't you want to Overwatch this one? But you're like, no, I don't. And then they don't move the squad that you really want to Overwatch into range. It's really stupid. So in 11th edition, it's going to be the opponent moves everything, then you choose what to Overwatch, which I think makes way more sense because obviously a squad that's standing there shooting at things coming at them is going to see all the things coming at them and go, that's the priority threat, or that's the thing we can actually kill, or whatever. They're not going to like, oh, should we shoot these, boss? I don't know, man. That other thing over there might come this way. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. But the snapshot thing is supposed to be something totally different. And it's supposed to come in a different phase, I think. So, because if I remember right, Snapshoot was like after the close combat section when somebody was like consolidating or advancing or something like that. It gave you like another chance to do that. I don't know. We don't have the rules yet. Wait for the actual rule book to come out for 11th edition before we could really answer all of these new questions. But to short answer your question, Overwatch is not going away, and Snapshoot is something new. So we're getting both. Alrighty. Yeah, Sprocket 40, I'm with you. The knob is not visually very distinctive in the Beast Snagga kit, and it's a very recent kit. I do not see them replacing it, especially because it's already designed to the new Orc ecosystem, which is, again, for those of you that don't know, the new Orc ecosystem is the Beast Snaggas, the Squig Hog Boys, the Commandos, and the Rekka crew, which is the Breaker Boys and the Tank Buses, all use the exact same arm joins and head joins. So you can mix and match the arms and the weapons and the heads on those kits completely. They are designed to work together. They are a whole new ecosystem, just like the old Badonkadonk Orcs was an ecosystem. So, and the new, or at least the one new boy that we've gotten our hands on, the one from Adepticon, uses the same head join as the full kits. And from what we've seen of the sprues for Armageddon, even though the bodies have like the arms molded on or whatever, the heads still all use the same V joint. So you're still going to be able to mix and match the heads. And obviously, we're going to get a full glue, full option boys kit after Armageddon. That one is definitely going to be the new ecosystem too. So since the Beast Snag is already in the new ecosystem, I don't see them like changing it, redoing it, anything like that. I could see them maybe adding a sprue to it, especially if they make the Beast Snaggas a kill team, because that's definitely been something that Games Workshop has been doing. Look at like the Tau Fire Warriors. They got an upgrade sprue that came as a kill team, and that helped elevate this squad that was really old into being a more modern looking kit because it gave you all these different options and different heads, and then like a leader thing. I could see them doing that for the Beast Snag boys. I could see them taking the Beast Snags and going, okay, like in one of the kill team sets where they're not both brand new, we'll make one of them be the Beast Snaggas, but we'll throw an upgrade sprue in there, and the upgrade sprue will like build you a real deal knob. Might be the dealio. So the Beast Snaggas might end up like the old boys, right? Where you end up with 10 regular dudes and then an 11th knob, and then who knows what the data sheets are? Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that is the only one that like I have no idea what they're gonna do. There's no clue on what they're gonna do. So yeah, we'll see. Dirt Herman, I love it. He says, "Be brave, put it all on 25mm slotted bases." That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. You know, I got to be honest. I never 25mm bases did not bother me back in the day when everything was on 25s. It was totally cool because everybody's feet hung off anyway. And back then, we didn't really do anything to the bases. You painted them goblin green or you painted them brown, and that was it. We didn't have all of these cool acrylic pastes. We didn't have the little tufts. If you were really somebody, you would like white glue some dirt to it, so the bases weren't that big a deal, but when they started going to all this new scale stuff in 8th edition and the bases got huge, but then they also, you could buy these grass tufts and all these acrylic pastes and all this weathering powder and stuff to like really make the bases look like dioramas. Once they did that, then I didn't like the 25s anymore because you couldn't really put anything on them. But also, like when the Orks went to 32s and I was like, oh man, I don't really want to rebase all of my thousands of guys. I put the first one on a 32 and I was like, oh, this looks good. This looks really good. It's just like now putting these big knobs on 40s. I'm like, this looks so much better. Yeah. And then I immediately like did all of them. So yeah, I don't know. I'm here for the big bases. I like the big bases, and I cannot lie. Oh, you know what? Well, let's get the actually, you know what? Instead of doing super chats. There we go. There you go. Okay, we'll get that super chat going there. Okay. Let's see. Stephen White says 100% expect kill team knobs or Storm Boys here soon. Not going to be Storm Boys. I can guarantee it. We've talked about this in a bunch of videos. Right now, there are 2 different AAA games being made for Warhammer 40,000. So you've got Total War Warhammer 40K, and you've got Dawn of War 4. And in all of the animations and digital assets that they've shown for these so far, there has only been stuff that is safe. So, like, for example, we've seen battle wagons, we've seen Death Dreads, and then, you've seen boys, but like boys look the same. But we haven't seen any kits that we know are getting totally replaced that are unique looking. So, like for example, flash kits are shown in all the animations. Ludas and Burnas are not. Storm Boys, though, have been in every single animation, and they look identical to the current Storm Boys. And the whole thing is, Games Workshop is not going to contract out with a AAA video game company to make a really expensive video game and then give them assets that they know they are replacing. We've seen this in every video game they've done. If there is a kit coming out in any sort of reasonable amount of time before the game or right after the video game hits, they want the digital asset to match the physical model, even on like mobile games. Like we've seen this on Tacticus and Warhammer combat cards. All right. So Storm Boys have been in both the Dawn of War 4 playthroughs and the Total War Warhammer 40K, and they look literally identical to the current kit. It's not happening anytime soon. Now, Knobs, on the other hand, we're definitely getting a Knobs kit. Now, I know that there's rumors that it might be a kill team. I don't know. I have no idea. This is pure speculation. But it will either be a kill team or with the second wave launch of all the plastic kits for Orks in 11th edition. Either way, we're getting them right away. They are not going to sleep on Knobs. So either way, we will know Knobs within the next few months because we are definitely getting all new Knobs, and they're all going to be on 40 millimeters. So no to Storm Boys, yes to Knobs. I've often said that the next kill team Orks are going to get is going to be the Luda and Burna box, and it's going to be done like the Rekka crew. They may even change the size of the squad, although I don't think it'll be 6. I've speculated on this. Again, pure random speculation. I'm not Valrak. I don't have sources. In fact, somebody on Discord the other day was bad talking to me. He's like, "Oh, the red ones go faster," was wrong about everything he had in his video. And I was like, "You didn't watch the video." Like, I clearly started off with, I don't know anything. This is all the stuff I want to be in the box. I don't have any rumors. This is what I want. Like, people, listen to the words that come out of my mouth. I have postulated, completely unsubstantiated. This is not a rumor. I don't have a source, but I've postulated that they've been playing around with kill teams and the different sizes of kill teams, right? So they've tried the 5, they've tried the 6, they've tried the 10, right? They've been kind of moving all over the place. There's been a couple of the chaos ones with like cultists and stuff that are even more than 10. The Ludas and Burnas, they're not very big or strong or, super scary weapons, right? Like tank busta weapons are way more powerful than Ludas, right? So you can't just give you 6 Ludas in kill team and expect them to do the kind of damage output that 6 tank bustas will do. So I've postulated that they might give us like maybe not 10, but like maybe 8, right? Maybe this becomes like a squad of 8 or something like that. I'm just, again, totally unsubstantiated, but I could see something like that happening to help differentiate, because it's like the elite size squads, right? They have the squads of 3 that are a thing, especially for like the Space Marines and the Beakies. So you could do a squad of 3 of something or a squad of 5 of something, and it makes it slightly different. Again, Space Marines, you see that a lot. If they're in Gravis armor, you get 3. If they're in regular armor, you get 5, even though they've got like the similar weapons or whatever, right? So I could see something like that happening. So when it comes to kill team, I'm really expecting to see the Ludas and Burnas come out. The Knobs I'm more expecting to see on the 40K side. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, where are we going here? Every kit is an Orc kit, looted Space Marine ATV kit bashed onto a custom Boosta Blasta. Absolutely. I love that. I really don't like that ATV kit. So when I heard the rumor that it was going away, it did not surprise me in the slightest. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Now, remember, so far, every episode of Every Kit is an Orc kit. I haven't known the Orc kit or what the kit was going to be going into it. Like, really, truly have not known. So when I opened it up and I started, like, that's my genuine reaction, my genuine start, and I take you through that entire thought process, which is why I think it's such a popular deal. It's a little different when I know the kit, because I could like do pre-planning for it, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe what I should do is, even though if I know the kits, because there's like 5 or 6 kits right now that everybody wants me to kit bash, maybe I should put together those 5 or 6 kits and like put them in brown bags and then like mix them all up. And then when I do the video, I just pick one. So even though like I might know what it potentially could be, it's still sort of a surprise. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see. Or do you even care? Do you even care if I don't know what the kit is? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? Man, chat's going crazy. You guys are awesome tonight. I don't want to miss anything, but I also, man, I can't read everybody's everything here. So moose squig, steak, and potato. Nice. Ooh, Assault Defend Decay. Chance to pre-order one Armageddon box at the nearest game store, walking distance. Problem is they want money up front. Do you have PayPal? If you've got PayPal, you can PayPal them up front, but you could do the whole Klarna thing and make the payments in four or something like that. Just an option, maybe. Let's see. Jojo M1 has a question, a serious question, so let's go for it. For my 2,000 point army that I am building, Green Tide, I want to use Storm Boys. Should I buy the current ones? I just talked about this. Buy the current ones. They're not going anywhere. And even when they do go somewhere eventually in the next, I don't know, 3 years, the current kit is actually really cool. The only thing that goes across with the old boys is the arms and the heads. The whole bodies are different in one piece. They don't have the gorilla butt going on, and they look really fantastic. They really, really do. And you could build them multiple ways. All of the backpacks interchange, all the heads interchange, all the arms interchange. So, like, you could build the Storm Boys kit, 20 different ways out of the box without having to kitbash with anything else. It's a great kit. It is the Orc infantry kit that needed an update the least, which is also part of like why I don't think they're going anywhere. Omnisphy Sphinx says they're just going to go on a 40 millimeter base. The knob will go on a 40, but not the rest of the Storm Boys. No, regular Storm Boys are going to stay on a 32. They're dinky. They're just regular boys. All right. Should I roll the dice and trying to find a copy on the floor at one of the other 5 game stores the officials do? Yeah. So there's no rolling the dice with Armageddon. Again, for those of you that haven't been here for an edition launch, which I know is actually a lot of you, the last time I did a survey, it was somewhere around 45, 46% of channel viewers are brand new to 40K. So, like, totally welcome, cool. Like, you have found the place to be excited about this, and Beer and Pretzels learn how to save money. So let me talk you through when an edition change happens. How this works is Games Workshop in the next couple of weeks is going to announce the pre-order for the Armageddon launch box. You will then have multiple weeks to pre-order. And you can either pre-order online on Game Workshop's web store directly or at a corporate Warhammer store that's owned by the company or at your friendly local game store. Literally all of them will be accepting pre-orders the entire time. Then the pre-orders will close and they will deliver the product. Now, when they deliver the product, there is a certain amount of stock that is pre-designated as for the shelf only. So if you're a retailer, right, you own a friendly local game store and you take however many pre-orders, let's say it's 10, right? You buy 10 pre-orders and you tell Games Workshop, hey, this is like, they know what size your store is, right? Because you're making weekly orders of Warhammer anyway, but you're going, hey, I sold 10 pre-orders. They're also going to send you a certain number of boxes that are specifically to put on your shelf. Because the whole idea is they want new people into the hobby. New people into the hobby have no idea there's a new edition coming until they walk into a local game store and they go, whoa, what is that? And then they buy it, right? So you need to have shelf stock. So there will also be shelf stock. Now, with Leviathan, which was the last launch box to come out, was the launch box for 10th edition, came out in July of 2023. They did that, and everything went great. But it was such a popular box, it did sell out pretty quickly. So what Games Workshop did is they did a made-to-order run. They went, look, we're doing a second run of these. If you want one, sign up. And you could sign up and buy it at the regular retail price, and they would make one for every single person that wanted one. So the result of that being, there was actually a ton of Leviathan on the shelf because when they did that second run, they sent more shelf stock to all the stores. So I saw Leviathan at full price at retail price on the shelves for like 3-4 months after it actually dropped. It was readily available. Like I could go to any of my local stores and greater than 50% chance there'd be at least one Leviathan on the shelf. After that, because now we're talking like Christmas time, right? You get into the holidays, you would maybe see one in every 10 stores still have a box. But I also saw a few online, like on eBay or whatever, or from some of the really big retailers, that they were selling it at a slight discount from retail. So don't get FOMO about this box. You will absolutely be able to buy it. You will have weeks worth of chances to pre-order it. You will have a chance to buy it on the shelf. And if all else fails, they might do a second print run of it as well. And then all of that being said, remember that after Armageddon comes out, they will release a starter set, which is different from a launch box. The starter set is going to have most of the things in the launch box for a lower price and will be available throughout 11th edition and will absolutely be available at a discount. Right now, you could still go buy the starter box for 10th edition that has Space Marines versus Tyranids in it. It is vastly discounted. It's like less than the cost of a single combat patrol, but you get 2 full combat patrols in it, plus the rulebook and all this jazz. And it's been like that for years. So don't FOMO. Do not pay a penny more than retail. All right. You'll be good to go. Okay. What else we got? Oh, hey, we got some super chats. Thank you guys. I totally missed that while I was ranting on here. We'll start with DeFlukes and Nash's on here. Says the value of this new 11th edition box is off the charts. Possible $1,250 value versus $300 price. I may buy 3 boxes and keep what I want and resell the rest. Man, that is crazy. It is a huge box. I think Leviathan had a slightly larger number of models and a little bit better on the beaky side, especially because like a dreadnought is worth more than a land speeder. And a couple other like the squads are a little bit more elite, like Terminators, you know. But that box was really, really good. I want to say it retailed for like right around 235, something like that US by the time it actually hit the streets. And yeah, it was a huge amount of value in that box. Fantastic. That's what the launch box is, right? They're trying to get you hooked on Warhammer 40K. They've got to make it affordable, right? They've got to make it such a good deal that you can't resist. Here's what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm buying multiple boxes because I'm getting one for me, and then I'm getting one for you guys for the contest, which we already talked about at the top of the broadcast. But when it comes to extras, remembering that all of this stuff is going to end up in the starter box and that the starter box will likely be discounted on top of retail, which is not likely going to happen to the launch box. And that usually what they take out are the characters, right? Like I only need one of the new Weird Boys and one of the new Pain Boys. And probably you will definitely only need one of the new Banner Boys, and then probably only one of the new Lieutenants. If I do get a second one of those, that's not the end of the world. I'm sure I can kitbash them to something really cool. But yeah, at least those first 3, Weird Boy, Pain Boy, and Banner Boy, I don't need any more than one anyway. So if those don't come in the starter box, I don't care. Same thing with the War Boss. Like I already have a ton of War Bosses, and I'm totally going to buy this guy when it comes out because we already know he's coming out, right? So I don't need more than one of the monopose War Boss that's in the box. So I don't need seconds of any of the characters. The only things I really want multiples of are the Walker, the new DACA Walker, DACA mech, whatever the heck the thing is, the really new cool big mech in Walker. I like him a lot. For some reason, whenever I see him, I think of, have you guys ever seen Wallace and Gromit? Aging myself here, right? Total graveyard. Wallace and Gromit is a claymation thing from the UK from like the 90s about this British dude and his dog. And there's one, they were like moviettes. They were longer than like a TV episode, but they're shorter than a movie. But there was one with like these crazy trousers, these pants. And Wallace ends up getting stuck in them, and the pants go crazy. They do things, but they're huge, like way bigger than him, and they just walk around all mechanically, and he's just kind of like hanging at the top. For some reason, this Mac Daco Walker thing makes me think of that because I see there's these giant legs, and then you just have like a mech boy torso hanging out the top. So yeah, to me, it's Wallace and Gromit's crazy trousers. I don't. So that's why I struggle with the name. Anyways. I would totally take more than one of those, right? Obviously, I want to kitbash that and totally rad that up. Same thing with the War Track. I totally want more of those. Honestly, I want more of the boys. I know they're monopose, but they're not monopose. They're just push fit. Some really cunning get on Reddit has been posting this really cool diagram of them. He went through the sprues and then he went through the bodies and he found the cut lines on every single one of them. on which ones interchange. And there's a couple of bodies that are three ways, where there's three different torsos that go on three different legs. And so you can rotate those and make 9 different boys out of them, not just swap them back and forth and make, 4 out of the 2, which is really intriguing to me. So if I got a whole nother set of 20 boys, I wouldn't cry about it, because I'm really excited to see the modularity of this push fit kit and see just how far I can push it. So having 40 of these new boys sounds totally rad to me. So knowing that all I really want are the boys and the vehicles, and I don't really want the characters, I'm not going to go get a whole nother Armageddon box. What I'm going to do is one Armageddon box for me, one Armageddon box for you guys, and then when the regular starter set comes out, I'll get multiples of those. Now, there is a really good chance that the starter set is not going to have both vehicles in it. More than likely, the wrong trousers will be gone. Maybe even both the vehicles. I don't know. We'll see. In which case, that would really suck. But it's not worth, for me personally, buying a whole second Armageddon box for it. But again, if it works for you, by all means do it. So yeah, thank you to Floofs and Ashes for that wonderful accounting. Really appreciate that. And we had another one from McFatson. McFatson says magnetized 25 millimeter onto 28 millimeter onto 32 millimeter, all models. A triple stack of bases. Honestly, I don't know why people get so caught up in the base sizes. They really don't matter all that much. And if your game is so close that it could be decided by the difference between a 32 millimeter base and a 40 millimeter base, which is not even 8 full millimeters, because it's from the center, so it's just the difference in how far the edge went. Like, there were other things you could have done in that game to make it work, right? Like, yeah. For me, mostly it's getting the bases to move through things. The infantry, the base doesn't matter because they can move through the terrain anyway. It's only on the vehicles. And frankly, I'm really hoping that the new rules change the way vehicles interact with bases anyway. I would love to go back to measuring from the hull, or just being able to ignore the bases for going around the terrain and stuff like that. So we'll see. I don't think it makes all that much difference. My big thing with bases is I really like the way the models look now. Now that we're getting to these new size of models and new styles, having my grots on 25s and my squigs, and my boys on 32s and my knobs on 40s and my war bosses on 50s look so good and so thematic that I don't care what they do with bases in perpetuity. They could do hex bases for 12th edition, or go to clear stands, or I don't care. I'm never going to change it again. I love the way that it looks, having the base size increase with the importance of the model in Orkdom. I just think that is such a tie-in to both the lore and the models that, yeah, I just, that's what I want to do. So yeah. That's it. Okay, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Going back some more. Man, you guys are just on it with these questions. Okay, I'm gonna try to answer all of them, because yeah, you guys really have some good ones. So let's go through them here. I'm gonna go back to the oldest. It's not the length of the knob, it's the girth. Come on now, there's grots reading. All right. Oh, hey, Dirt Hermit's doing his Bretonian Knights, Knights of the Crimson Fist. Oh, I like that. Taking the color scheme from one game system and putting it on another works really, really well. There was back when Fantasy Battles was a thing, there was a Empire clan. I want to say it was Middenheim. They were a blue and red quartered, right? So like the Howling Griffins, that's red and yellow, but it was blue and red. And I saw an army, a 40K army painted like that. In fact, I think it was Space Marines, and it looked amazing. And that, like, so I'm always looking at like, oh, what paint scheme could I steal from, another game system to put onto here? So yeah, Crimson Fists on Bretonian Knights sounds awesome. It's that they're trying to fast forward through these rules. We don't have discussions. I like it. Nandaka says Death Dread needs an update. Honestly, I agree. I love the kit. It's starting to look a little small. It's starting to look a little limited these days. But it's definitely not getting redone. Again, every single game has it in full render. Like, the detail down to the rivet is identical to the current kit, they are not going to spend that much time and effort doing that for that kit to get replaced. So Death Dread not coming with this wave. Maybe like if we get a second wave later on in 11th edition or maybe in 12th. But yeah, Death Dread not going anywhere. Same with Killicans. Killicans aren't changing. Again, Killicans, wild speculation. I'm going to do this. Every time I'm doing wild speculation so that I know that I'm just talking out my squig, I'm going to turn my hat upside down. Wild speculation. I could see them doing a kill team style upgrade sprue to the Killicans. Because the only problem with Killicans right now is that the sprues don't come with enough weapons to give every can the same weapon. And Games Workshop doesn't like that. But there's no reason to redo the whole kit. Plus, if they did an upgrade sprue, they could include a Grot commander that could be popping out of the hatch on one of them that you could even maybe double as a character or something like that. Now, I'm not saying Killicans are going to end up in Kill Team. It could happen. I mean, they put stealth suits in Kill Team, and 3 Killicans would actually be like kind of hilarious, especially now that they've got like a Necron Satan or something like that. Like they could come up with a mission thing where you're fighting Killicans. Would be totally cool. But that's what I foresee happening with Killicans. Totally wildly unsubstantiated rumor. Not even rumor. Unsubstantiated theory, not rumor. Okay. I just want to make that clear. Again, somebody on Reddit was like all over me on like getting things wrong. And I'm like, dude, I specifically said these aren't rumors. I'm not Valrak. I don't know anything. This is the only thing I know. Like everything I'm about to tell you is just stuff that I want. Oh, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right. Racket 1212 wants to know, did I read that right? Boys now have both shooters and choppas. Yes. Right. So we all thought the Games Workshop was going to split the boys up into shooter boys and slugger boys because in all these screenshots and gameplay of Total War Warhammer 40K, they showed the squad, or no, it was Dawn of War 4. In Dawn of War 4, they showed the screenshots and stuff. And when you clicked on the squad, it either said Shooter Boys or Slugger Boys as totally separate data sheets. And we're like, yo, they're going to make it match what it used to be, which is awesome. And then they came out and it's just boys and they have everything. So yes, now all boys have a shooter and a slugger and a chopper, which honestly, I kind of dig because in all the artwork, the boys have everything, and in all the lore, the boys have everything. There's not like, I mean, there's orcs that like prefer making DACA more than crumping, but they're never gonna not crump. But there's orcs that like prefer crumping, but like they're gonna give a good DACA gotta go, right? So like regular boys having all of it makes a ton of sense. So I'm totally here for it. In fact, expect many videos about kit bashing your old boys to have all of the options and have all of the drip that the new boys have, because I love the drip the new boys have. So we'll definitely have to do that. Let's see. Charles Louder 8801 says, I would be happy with more beast snaggers. Had a lot of fun with the squig lovers in 9th and 10th. Me too. The beast snag is I'm on record as going like they totally won me over. Once I actually built one of the models and saw how many mechanical bits it had, how much cyborg parts it had, I loved them, especially painting them in more the junkyard style than Games Workshop's factory paint scheme, which is really bad because they paint all the metal armor white, which makes it look like bone. So like the big giant power claw that the beast boss has, that's not bone, that's metal. That's a Necron, like that slithery snake thing. It's one of those skulls. Like paint it like a Necron and then it looks totally like killer, right? I don't get why they did that. And as soon as you paint your snaggers in something different, they look so much cooler. So yeah, I'm all about them. I love the Squig Hog boys and the Beast Boss on Squigosaur, big old V8 powered squigs all day, every day. And the kill rig was pretty darn cool. It's right there. I love my kill rig too. So yeah, I would totally take some more Beast Snaggers. I also do wish that they had named them Scar Boys instead of Beast Snaggers, and then we wouldn't be having half these conversations, but you know. Alrighty. Death by Chair said they actually did post the full snapshot rules today. Oh, cool. When you overwatch it is a snapshot which only hits on 6s and can't be ruled. Snapshotting seems to be a term now for out-of-turn shooting. Okay, cool. Whatever. Again, I'm not going to pay attention to any of the rule stuff until we have the full books because you can't really look at it in a vacuum. Again, for those of you that are new, we went through this when 10th edition came out. When 10th edition came out, keywords on data sheets were brand new. And Games Workshop had no idea what they were writing when they made this a new thing, and everything was hilariously broken. For example, Gazgul took up one spot on a transport. So because again, it was like that was just the way that they wrote it. And then the fork the you could do the fortress. Back then, the Mech Boy Workshop was a unit and had a data sheet, and all of the parts were considered part of the unit, and you could literally just like create a wall of unit because it's not train, it's unit, that the enemy couldn't get through. It's just wild. There's really, really terrible things that happen with rules when you finally get all of them out there and see how they interact with each other. And I'm sure 11th is going to be like that too. So there's no point in speculating on anything rules until you have the full picture. I've seen some people concerned the Launchbox boys will be the ones released separately. This is from Metal Skull PO3KJ. Absolutely not going to happen, and I can guarantee it, and here's why. In the live stream, when they unboxed Armageddon, they held up every sprue. The sprue with the boys on it has all 10 boys and 5 grots, and you get 2 identical sprues. Games Workshop is absolutely positively not going to sell a box, one, with a sprue that size, but two, that has 5 grots on it like that. That makes no sense for them whatsoever. And it's not like they're like over here where they can get cut off easy. They are all mixed in the sprue. It is 10 boys and 5 grots just yard sailed on there. That's never going to happen. Those boys are stuck in the launch box and the starter set only. I guarantee you, we are going to get a full option multi-pose kit, just like this War Boss, for boys that's going to be completely different than the launch box. Absolutely guaranteed. For sure. McFadden wants to know, is 10 Beast Boys with a Beast Boss and a truck still available? We have no idea. We literally have no idea. There is 0 point in speculating. The few data sheets that they've already shown us have completely mixed up the way that things work. And we don't even know how all the rules apply yet. We don't know if everybody can ride in everything now, or if there's still like certain keywords that are feature locked into certain trucks, because, you know, an orc's going to run up to a kill rig and be like, hey, can I catch a ride? No, let me check. I'm not a beast snag. I can't get on. That's ridiculous, right? We have no idea what's going to happen. Just stop speculating. Just it doesn't matter. Right now, worry about your models. Get these painted. That's what you should be worrying about. All right, I am just going to ignore every other question about rules from now on. Sprocket 40 does say, however, though, that snag a kill team would be great. Just design a new multi-pose box with entirely different purposes in the game, a la Rocket Crew. I don't think they need to do that because, again, on the Beast Snag kit, first of all, it's modular. Remember, they all have the same arm joins. So if you do an upgrade sprue, it just needs extra arms on it. You can put them in the same sockets. And then there's also already a thump gun in there. So on your 10 Beast Snaggers, you could build a thump gun guy. And then on your upgrade sprue, you could give a couple other extra weapons, like maybe have one with like a grappling hook launcher thing, right? And then somebody with like some tank mines, that kind of stuff. Give them a little squiggy to run around, right? Give them a little beast snagger grot. You put all of that on the upgrade sprue, along with like what I would do honestly is do a set of legs for the knob, because the knob body upper half thing is really good. It looks great, it works great, nothing wrong with it. If they just gave you bigger legs for him and then like a better boss pole, that would totally work. And then you'd be able to build the knob. And then, yeah, like have your thump gun guy and then, whatever the other upgrade guys are. But you'd actually need to change the bodies on anybody else in the squad because they are modular. You can just give them different arms, maybe a couple extra heads or different heads. That would totally work. I think that'd be rad. Real Jazeer says the Assault on Black Reach Orcs great on 32. Yeah, they are. Assault on Black Reach Orcs and the original 1998/2008 Orcs, the ones we know as old boys, all look great on 32s. All of mine have been on 32s for years now. I mean, when did that happen? Like 2000? So yeah, 6 years now. They've been on 32s. They all look fantastic. They're totally big enough. Right now, the only orc boys, again, if you haven't seen my video, there's 9,000 of you subscribed, but only 2,500 of you watched this video. I did a whole video on every single plastic orc boy made. We had Rogue Trader, we had second edition launch box, we had the 1998 boys, we had the Monopose boys, and we had the 11th edition boys. And then we drug out beast snagas and knobs and like everything else under the sun to show you all the different sizes and how they interacted with each other. But as long as you're not running a rogue trader boy or a second edition boy, your boys are great. Um, even though they are slightly shorter, it's all in the pose. And you put a couple of shoulder pads on them, or you put them on a little bit of tacticalness, or even just not care. It literally doesn't make a difference. I mean, we are talking like 2 millimeters max height difference. They're the same girth, they're the same footprint, they have the same weapons. The weapons are literally identically sized. The one new Adepticon boy, the sword he has, is literally a 1-to-1 copy of one of the swords that's way up here on a Blackreach boy, literally identical. Like I'm not being facetious. Like I put them side by side. They were literally identical in every dimension, every way, everything, which is really cool. But that means that like all of your boys are still super relevant. Put them on 32s. You're gonna have to put some big knobs on 40s, but like who cares? It's gonna look great. It's super rad. So alrighty. No, Metal School says maybe the Storm Boys are getting redone. It's just like they look super close to the current one. No. You don't understand. In the animations, the boys looked super close to the current ones. The knobs looked super close to the current ones. And the War Boss looked super close to the current ones. They were clearly not the current ones, and they clearly match the aesthetic of all the new stuff that got announced and launched. They really do. The Storm Boys that they have rendered are identical. I mean, down to the rivet. When you look at their jump pack, there's this weird like horns that go around the nose cone of one of them that have like little ties on them. All of those horns are on there perfectly. There's these little fins on the bottom and the back that kind of like go down and then strake out and then come back in. Literally identical on there. The head, even like with the goggles and the little flappy thing, it's identical. It's not just that they look super close; they are identical. The Storm Boys kit, it's just not getting changed, not anytime soon. Yes, Big Mac Ludas are noticeably more dated. We did a whole video on Ludas, and we tried to like loot the Ludas. And even doing that, they turned out not the greatest, if I'm honest. It was one of my least favorite conversions ever. And I think it's just the way the Luda is with the weird backpack thing that goes up and over their shoulder to like connect the stuff. I don't know. They don't look good. They do not look good. Big Mick says, though, the mech and the squad should stay. Oh, for the Ludas and Burners, the Spanner Boy? We have no idea. We have no idea. Again, they've totally been changing up how all the squads work. I mean, even look at like Tank Bustas. The Tank Hammer was a Tank Busta thing for 9.5 editions. And now all of a sudden, all the Tank Hammers are in the Breaker Boys. They're in a totally different squad. Commandos also got like a huge redo when they got their kill team blow up. So them changing around squads or what they're composed of, I mean, it being a Spanner Boy never really made sense anyway. If a Spanner Boy is like a baby mech, what the heck is he doing running around with a bunch of burner boys anyway? Like, shouldn't it be like a burner knob? Like, shouldn't it be a knob with like a combi Scorcha on or something like that? Or like a really rad power claw that's got a Scorcha built into it so you could grab people and then roast their head? That's probably what we're going to get. We're going to get something cooler. So I have no problem with the Spanner Boys disappearing because I think, again, if we get to glow up anything like the Rekka crew, it's going to be amazing. So, yeah. Dirt Herman says, what if Ludas and Burners become one squad? They won't be one squad. So in Kill Team, I don't play Kill Team, okay? But I do understand it. I've watched a lot of Kill Team videos. And I've read all the rules for it and stuff. But the Rekka crew, when you use it in Kill Team, you mix and match. You take all of the stuff. You can have a mixture of the Tank Bustas with the rocket launches and the Breaker Boys with the tank hammers and the power fists and stuff. So in Kill Team, you take all of it. What we do in 40K is you break it up into the two squads, and we have to make our choice on what we want. And of course, those of us that are smart, we kitbash them and we take both, right? But Ludas and Burners are going to be the same way. The Kill Team, you're going to be able to take a mixture of guys with Scorches and guys with Luda guns. But again, they're not as powerful as the Rekka crew guys, which is why I'm postulating, why I'm randomly guessing that they might not be 5 or even 6. They could be 10, they could be 8. But because they are lower powered, unless they do something different, like change them to knob size guys and make them like flash kits, well, why would you do that? Because you already have flash kits. So, Ludas and flash kits aren't going to go together, right? So, postulating, theorizing, we're going to get more than 5 in a squad. All right. Metal School PO3KJ says, I was kind of hoping knobs would be a kill team now, so GW wouldn't slip out on options. They're not going to slip out on options. The knob kit, whether it comes out as a kill team or a 40K kit, is going to be like this kit. It is going to have every single option under the sun in it. And it's going to be able to, it's going to be modular. And it's going to be able to be built a zillion different ways. It will probably be one of the all-time greatest orc kits. I'm just saying that. Omniscience Sphinx 6274 wants to know is, would the GSM kit, that would be Gene Stealer Cults, make a better truck versus the Orc one? Yes and no. Okay, full disclosure, guys. I am currently sitting on a stockpile of new kits to make trucks that are not trucks. This has been one of my biggest video ideas that has literally been percolating for 2 years, which is I want to make 6 different looted trucks from 6 different Warhammer factions. Okay. Problem is, I'm not going to start on it yet because the truck is definitely changing. We are getting a new truck kit. Valrak has been talking about rumors of a new battle wagon. Again, I'm not saying that he's wrong. He just doesn't know orcs the way that he knows Space Marines, which is, it's totally fine. No shade on him. I don't know Space Marines the way I know orcs, right? But again, from a pure business perspective, the truck model costs $1 zillion to make, $1 zillion to pack, $1 zillion to ship, and takes up a ton of real estate on the shelf where they make less margin than all the other kits. Games Workshop is not stupid. They like to make money. That kit does not make them money compared to all the other orc kits. So they're going to replace it for that reason and that reason alone. Now, when they replace it, it will likely be smaller dimensions. When I say smaller, I don't mean, oh, it's going to be tiny. No. If you build a truck the way it's supposed to be built, per the instructions, with the armor panels on top of armor panels in the bed, with the big boarding ladders that actually move, with the power ram thingy up front on top of the front bumper, with all the bits and gubbins, it's literally gigantic. It is way bigger than a Land Raider. It is bigger than a battle wagon in every dimension except for length. That's well, and then on the battle wagon, if you put the turret and the hard case on, it's taller. But without that, if you do an open top battle wagon, it is literally shorter than a truck. And then again, the truck is wider than the battle wagon. It's just huge. It is scaled wrong. And it is scaled like a scale model. It is not scaled like a vehicle. All the other vehicles in Warhammer 40K are a smaller scale than the actual infantry. I mean, look at a Rhino. Are you going to fit 10 Space Marines in that? No, you're not. Look at a battle wagon. You going to fit 10 mega armor knobs in there? No, you're not. Okay. But what my theory is whatever Valrak thinks is a new battle wagon is actually a truck that looks more like the current battle wagon, which would be cool. So I am waiting for the new truck to come out before I kit bash everything else. But the GSM truck is one of them. I mean, come on, it's got a big rock grinder thing on the prow like that. How could you? I mean, you don't even have to be a Death Skull to want to loot that thing. All right. So, Big Mac wants to know generally which old orc kit is least worth getting. Ooh, least. Okay, that is a new question. Least worth. Pain Boy. No, not Pain Boy. Weird Boy. The current Weird Boy kit is awful. First of all, it's fine cast resin. Second of all, it was made fine cast resin after being metal in the first place. So it's one of the really terrible fine cast resin ones. And third of all, it's tiny compared to what the new one is going to be. Also, it's an ugly sculpt. Also, it breaks a lot because it's got this weird chain with a weird V in it, a grot hanging out. The current Weird Boy is the least useful, least nice orc kit. Period. The end. Like just be done with it right there. Outside of a character, because I know that's probably not what you mean. All the orc vehicles are pretty safe, okay? Because like all the buggies are new, right? Like your shock jump dragsta and your wrecker truck scoop buggy and whatnot, right? Like all of those are new. None of those are going anywhere. They're all safe and they're all great kits. The truck, even though they're going to replace the truck, you buy a truck and a mech gun kit, you make 4 mech guns, right? Like it is the best kit in the world for kit bashing because of why they're replacing it, right? Because it's 6 tons of bits and a 2-pound bag, right? Like yeah, so you can't go wrong with a truck. Battle wagon isn't going anywhere. And again, now that the battle wagon is boxed with every single option in the box, like you get a def roller, you get the regular prow, you get the art case, you get the turret, like again, it's loaded to the gills. Even if they end up replacing the battle wagon, like you could convert 25 things out of the one box. So yeah, all the vehicles are great. The walkers are all great. Stomp is not going anywhere. Morkanaut Gorkanaut's not going anywhere. Death Dread's not going anywhere. Killican's might get an upgrade sprue, but they're not going anywhere. Like, so you're totally safe there. Kill rig is totally safe. So yeah, you're like great on all of those. When it comes to infantry, it's orcs look great having a mixture of the models and scales and designs in them. Like I still have some old metal tank buster boys mixed in now with my new tank buster squads, and they still hold up. They still look great. Like our army is wholly unique in that we can do that, and the more you do that, honestly, the better the army looks. Like if you've got 6 squads of the 10 monopose boys, your army honestly doesn't look that great. But if you've got a squad of the monopose boys and a squad of assault blackreach boys and assault of old boys, that looks really good, especially if they're all mixed up with each other in the squads, right? Which is what I personally do. But even not doing that, they look great. So, even all of our infantry stuff, it really is fine. And even stuff like, the current war boss who's going to be tiny and on a 40 millimeter base, you run him now as a big boss, which is great. Like all of our 40 millimeter base bosses that are short have a new lease on life. So yeah, like even all of those are really, really good. So coming up with a least worth kit getting, I mean, objectively, do not get the weird boy. Like that kit for sure is a don't get. But see, even like the pain boy, like even though he's not my favorite sculpt, he's kind of weird looking. That pain boy plus the new pain boy to like give you 2 total unique sculpts would look really good on the battlefield. The current weird boy just wouldn't. It's too small, and again the whole resin thing. Yeah, are there any other kits that just aren't worth it? Flash kits are good. The current knob kit, I wouldn't. Well, no, because again, you want to put all of your knobs on 40 millimeters, like in your boys squads, and they need to be bigger. And Squatty Knob doesn't do it. So, like, even getting a current knob kit to make knobs for your boys squads would make a ton of sense. Like, so yeah, genuinely, the only orc kit not worth spending any money on is the current weird boy. There we go. Alrighty. Ooh, Ashley Kirk 86 got the Vanguard Task Force. Got it for $60 on eBay. Man, that is such a good deal. The Vanguard Task Force is the sneaky beaky Space Marines. They are honestly the best Space Marine sculpts Games Workshop has ever done. Like bar none. I don't care that they're going to Legends. I'm keeping mine forever because I really think they are that cool. So yeah. Sprocket 40 says that Leviathan was available for pretty much a full 2 years around him. Yeah, absolutely. I was just speaking of my own local area, which is not the biggest for Warhammer. Like I've said that a bunch of times. If you're in a really huge area for it, if you're in New York, if you're in LA, something like that, or if you're like in Baltimore, like around where GW headquarters used to be, or down in Austin where the new Warhammer World at US is, huge amount of stock all over the place. Yeah, pretty much full 2 years doesn't surprise me at all. All right, we're getting caught up now. We're getting close now. Oh wow, Deflus Nasher says a few of his local FLGSs, including the Warhammer Sword in the City, still have a couple copies of Leviathan and other starter boxes. I've definitely seen other starter boxes. There are still Dominion boxes out there, which is hilarious. I've seen a couple of Scaventide boxes. There's a ton of Horus Heresy boxes. Like if you want a what the heck is the dudes with the big shoulder pads that we turned into Meganops? My brain. I forgot the names of these on the other live stream too. But anyways, the Horus Heresy box It was like $300. It was terrible. You can find those everywhere. Do not pay retail for that box. I've seen a couple of old world boxes out there. So yeah, most of the boxes are out there, but the 40K box tends to sell out. But yeah, that's just how many. How many? All right, let's see. Yeah, and then the Combat Patrol magazine stuff eventually. Again, for those of you that are new to the hobby that haven't been around, there's this company called Hachette Works. They're a magazine company, but a special type of magazine company. They do all sorts of these magazines that are a very similar thing where you get every issue has parts in it. Hence Hachette Partworks. And then you use those parts to build things. So, like in the scale model realm, you could like subscribe to something, you get 150 issues, and every issue has a different part for like, this 1/10 scale, Back to the Future DeLorean or something like that. And you're going to build it, put it together, one issue at a time. Well, they've done Warhammer things. So they started off with Imperium magazine, which was all the 40K stuff with the Necrons that came out of the Indominus box. That was a smash hit. So then they did a Spearhead one. That's the one that's out right or was out. Had like all the spearheads from AOS. They did a Combat Patrol one, which has all the 40K combat. Actually, I got that backwards. I think Combat Patrol came out before Spearhead. There must have been another one in there too, because yeah, they did an AOS one that had like all the Dominion stuff in it. But yeah, basically, at some point, Hachette Partworks is going to come out with a magazine, and it will have all of the stuff from the launch box in it, and then probably a bunch of other combat patrols or something like that, because they sell like hotcakes. So it's a great revenue stream for Games Workshop, not just in and of itself, but it is again a great way to get the miniature hobby out there to people and get them interested in it and coming to go buy more minis, because buying a mini in a magazine and building like one guy or a squad of 3 is way less intimidating than buying a giant army box and getting stuck in. Starosta56 says, like the stream he gets. Yes, please like the stream. We'll take this opportunity for a very short commercial break. If you could do me a favor and hit the like button down there, I would really appreciate it. Basically, the almighty YouTube algorithm decides whether or not it's going to promote our channel based on your interaction with me. So the more chats you put there into the chat, the more it recommends me. The more that you guys do the super chats and meet the goal, the like exponentially more it spreads to the channel. The more likes or even dislikes, honestly, the more it feeds the algorithm. And the more we feed the algorithm, the more they tell people about us, the more people we get into the WA and playing Orks and being into it for hobby building and narrative and beer and pretzels and buying cool merch at the Red Ones Go Fasta, so that we can make that thing happen, which is a super huge big dream of all of ours. So yeah, every little thing you do helps out. Super appreciate all of you. If you could click that button and then make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, we would super appreciate that. All right, let's keep going. Yes, the wrong trousers. Wallace and Gromit is timeless. Don't let it get to you. Yeah, I know there's been like some new ones, and then the guys that did that did Shaun the Sheep, which is also hilarious. So yeah, highly recommend some claymation in your life. Bobby 3000 says, I'm having a hard time being excited about the Marines. Me as well. Now, again, we're very orky around here, but I do love everything Warhammer 40K. We've talked about it a zillion times. You guys have seen a bunch of my armies. There is one of my 4 Imperial Guard armies right there. There are some Beakies. There are some Beakies. I've got Eldar. I've got Chaos, right? The gamut. And then the Grots have armies too, right? Best Grots got an Ultramarines army and a Death Guard army. And then Favorite Grot has a Tau army, right? So we've got it all around here. We like it all around here. The beaky side of the box does not excite me whatsoever. I like the land speeder, and I want to add one of those to my army. I sort of like the Vanguard veterans and the jump pack chaplain. I would add them, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to get them. The rest of it, I really could care less about. The big dudes with the heavy bolters instead of the melta-guns. So I figured out what it was I didn't like about them, because at first I couldn't figure it out, because I really do like the big Gravis armor. I really do like the big guns. I like the shields on them. I'm like, why don't I like these? And then somebody pointed out that the Gravis armor dude with the heavy bolter that came in the like Kill Team starter set, which is based on the Warhammer Heroes blind boxes, has a belt fed heavy bolter that goes to his backpack like the suppressors. And that looks cool as all get out. having those big dudes with this tiny little magazine on a heavy bolter looks awful. So I think I either need to heavily kit bash them with the big ammo feeds to make them look cool, or I need to wait for like a full glue kit. Maybe that will come with a different version, because even like there's like the flying ones that have the bolter, like the bolter in each arm, right? They come in and land, and they're in the like heavier flying armor. Those are belt fed too, and they're just smaller bolters. So like, yeah, just the belt fed stuff looks better. So I think that's part of it. But yeah, it's super unexciting. It's super uninspiring. The best rot today actually built the Adepticon Beaky. You could probably see him right there. That is the Adepticon Beaky. He built him. We took a look at him. He's awful. On his legs were the little extra armor. See, do any of these guys? I think all of these guys are Phobos because they don't have the armor. But regular Premier Space Marines, like they have the kneecap, and then above the kneecap is like the little shield thingy. On the side, the shield thingy like keeps going into the leg with like this really awkward triangle piece of plastic for how cheaply they molded it. Dude, the legs look so clunky. They look so bad. And then they only gave you a regular normal intercessor head and an empty head. They didn't even give you one of the new beaky heads with it. So it is truly just a plain intercessor, just like the 10th edition and 9th edition and 8th edition giveaway guys. So the giveaway guy himself is super disappointing. But yeah, just looking at all the photos, like Beskrat, who's a huge beaky head, like he might be more into beakies than I'm into orcs, right? I mean, this high bar, high bar. He was not very enthusiastic about the box. He was more excited for the orc half. He was like, Dad, I kind of want to start an orc army. I was like, yeah, let's get 2 boxes and start an orc army. And then he got overwhelmed with how much stuff he has to paint. So I think he might be out of that. But yeah, he was like, he liked the captain and the chaplain and didn't really care for anybody else. He didn't need another ancient. I think he already has 2 and just doesn't care about a guy with a banner. And then yeah, he doesn't need any more intercessors. He didn't care about those. The big guys with the bolters are just kind of meh. Like he's got again I think they're inceptors, the ones that jump and have like the double bolter guns. Like he loves those. Like why would he want ones that don't have jump packs and don't have belt fed magazines, right? He thought the land speeder was cool. And the jump pack guys, like he just wants jump packs. He didn't get the difference between those and regular assault intercessors with jump packs, like what came in my Raven Guard combat patrol. So yeah, I'm with you. The beaky half is so uninspiring, and the online chatter about it has been so meh. I fully expect that the orc half of this box is going to be selling for more money on like the people on eBay that like break the boxes up, right, and sell them individually. The orc half will sell for more money than the marine half. Like I'm calling it right now. For the first time ever, these launch boxes, when they get broken up, I really do think the Space Marine half is going to be the cheaper half. That's how bad they are. So, yeah, anyways. We're totally gonna have to make the pants for one, the trouser walker. I'm telling you guys, the mech's got the wrong trousers. It's so good. It's so good. All right. Oh no, I lost my spot. Where'd we go? Trying to do my best keeping up with you guys, and you're chatting so stinking fast here, which is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. But yeah, I want to try to make sure to get it to everybody. If I'm missing you and you really, really, really have a question, do the super chat thing. They all count, any level of them. So I mean, you don't have to do like a $10 one or anything like that. You could do the dollar one, and it'll still count for our goal right there, which would be super duper rad. But I guarantee you, I will read it and answer your question. But I'm trying to get to as many as possible that are not rules based, because I do want to answer you guys' questions here. Okay, here we go. I found the spot where I was at. Starter set will probably drop a couple of vehicles, a couple of characters. So Sprocket 40, we can guess what the starter set will drop based on the sprues. Again, remember they showed us the sprues on the stream. The captain and war boss were on the same sprue, so they're not going to be available separate, but they will probably come together in those boxes. So the ultimate starter set or whatever will come with both of them. That being said, they were each on an individual sprue that could be broken in half. So I could see, again, those being put into individually boxed combat patrols. After that, it all goes away. The Space Marine side, the Ancient and the Jump Pack Chaplain, and then didn't they have one other character? I can't remember. Oh yeah, and the librarian. They did have, yeah, they did have one more character. They have 4 characters. Those 3 characters are on the same sprue with the 3 Eradicator dudes, and they're all mixed up. Again, they're just yard sailed on the sprue. Those are definitely not going to be in the starter box / combat patrol. So you're definitely losing the Eradicators. You're definitely losing 3 of the characters. But that being said, I think 10 Space Marines, the Land Speeder, and a Captain is a pretty decent, if small, or no, and then yeah, you get the Vanguard veterans still too, the 5 Vanguard veterans. So yeah, so Captain, 5 Vanguard veterans, 10 intercessors, and a land speeder is a pretty darn decent combat patrol and half of a starter box, right? So yeah, no problem there. The land speeder's on its own frame. The intercessors are on a frame with the Vanguard vets, I think. So yeah, you're gonna lose the Eradicators, you're gonna lose the 3 characters. That is the Space Marine side. And again, this isn't speculation. You just look with your eyeballs. Look at what's on the sprue. Games Workshop is not going to individually cut apart a sprue to put something in a box, right? That sprue was clearly designed to be the Armageddon sprue, and then out in the trash it goes, right? So that's on that side. On our side, on the Orc side, the Weird Boy is on his own sprue, but the Pain Boy, the big boss, the new lieutenant, and the Bandanob. There we go. That's the 3rd guy. Those 3 characters are all on a sprue together. And so that they're not going to make it. And even though Weird Boy is on his own sprue, I think they did that on purpose so they could box him later and sell him like this on his own. So I don't think he's going to be in the big box or like in the boxes after Armageddon either. So we're probably losing the Weird Boy. We're definitely losing Pain Boy, Bandanob, and Lieutenant. And then again, the boys frame, right, had the 10 boys and the 5 grots all mixed together, yard sailed. We might lose one of those. Here's kind of the 2 options I'm thinking. Either we're going to lose one of those, so you'll get 10 boys and 5 grots in the combat patrol and still keep the DACA rig and the zoomy doomy thing, the war track. There we go. But that doesn't line up with the Space Marines, right? Because the Space Marines have 10 Beakies plus 5 jump pack guys. If all we have is 10 orcs and 5 grots, like the grots are going to, I love a grot, right? But 5 grots are going to get stomped by 5 Sternguard veterans or Vanguard veterans, right? And the vehicles are going to make up for it. Plus, the vehicles are each on their own separate sprue. The DACA rig is also huge. What I foresee is they're going to try to match them up. And so we're going to keep the 20 boys and 10 grots. And then keep the war track. So it'll be war track versus the land speeder. It'll be 20 boys and 10 grots versus the 10 Space Marines and the 5 Sternguard veterans. And then you'll have the war boss versus the captain. And that's going to be the 2 halves of that box. So there you go. There's my answer on that as far as what is getting dropped for the regular starter boxes. Yeah, Azamak, I'm with you. I'm also disappointed that the war track got put on a base. Like again, we have no idea on rules. I'm hoping that they measure from the hull now, and the base is just decorative. But yeah, it's too cool for me to care. I'm still going to put it on there and make it look cool. Suncatcher Mini, yes, you need to put your Monopose Boy knob on a 40 millimeter. 1000% guaranteed. The knob in the boy squad is on a 40. That being said, the Monopose knob looks fantastic on a 40. I've done that too. Oh no, I already put him away. No, I didn't. Here he is. Wait, here he is. This is the Monopose Boy knob on a 40. Look at that. Doesn't he just, he looks fantastic on it, right? And this is the size that all the new knobs are. So they work perfect for it. Again, you could have seen this coming a mile away for the last 6 years that we were getting this new size knob. And again, there's the commando knob. And he is also the same size as these new knobs are. So yeah, there you go, boys. Commando knob on 40 and Monopose Boy knob on 40. They look fantastic. They work fantastic. These guys are going to line up perfectly with the brand new ones. So definitely do that. Your Monopose Boy knobs are on fire. Okay. Suncatcher Mini wants to know, I'm just starting out and haven't gotten an old knobs box. Should I get one or wait? Honestly, in my 5 videos to or 5 boxes to get video, I said to get them. At this point, I'm backing off of that. And here's why. I love that kit. I think that kit is a fantastic value. You get a ton of bits in it. The knobs have a ton of character in them. They are not this size. They really aren't. You could use them up. You could put a bunch of stuff on them, but they're not very dynamic because of how multi-part they are. So they all kind of have like a very similar stiff shoulder pose. They're not as tall. They're not as girthy. And frankly, the war gear options in them are very outdated. Remember when that kit came out, every single war gear piece in it was a different thing. Now, the combi weapons are going back to actually being different, but we don't know if all the combi weapons that are in that box are going to be available in the new stuff. Also, there's things like the weird power saw thing that's like half mechanical, half orky, that doesn't exist anymore. There's the power staba, which is like the spear gun looking thing. Like that's not a thing anymore. Yeah, I think that kit, because I have I have built multiple versions of that kit. I have 20 of those knobs on this painting desk right now, that are built, converted, kit bashed, undercoated, ready for paint, even have some base coats on them on some of them. 20 of them, and they look so dated and are so not working. I tried putting a couple of them on 40s and they looked tiny. And again, with the war gear, I'm going to say pass. I would honestly pass. If you are just starting out, you don't need them. Now, if you're like me, if you're an old graybeard and you've got 10 million orc boys laying around and you're like, shoot, I got like, what are we going to do? All I have are squatty knobs. Go get some, go take your old knobs and hack them up and turn them into the knobs for your boys squads. I think that would be fine. But yeah, if you're brand new to the orcs, don't get the new knob squad. At the talking out of my squig, make that a t-shirt. Hey, we'll work on it. So full transparency update for those of you that like to come to my live streams and get all the secret sauce. We are working with 2 brand spanking new artists right now on 2 different shirt designs. So I said kind of early in the year, I have this new goal of trying to come up with a new shirt design every quarter. So 4 times a year, we'll have a brand new shirt to put out there. And we're not going to rotate any out yet. At this point, everything we add just adds more to the sales, and all the old stuff keeps selling too. Like we still sell more red squig than just about anything else. All the more DACA stuff sells, even though we have 2 different styles of it, right? And I don't like the FOMO thing, especially because this stuff is made to order. It's not like I'm sitting on a pile of inventory anymore. So yeah, no more limited shirts, but I want to put out a new design every quarter. But one of the things, don't get me wrong, I love our current artist, right? Like this is BenBam, who did our Go Fastest shirt too. And we'll definitely be seeing more from BenBam. But I love the variety of artists out there, and I want to support as many individual creators as possible. So no AI slop, no like repurposed garbage. These are full original designs to my specs that we are working with back and forth. But I found a couple of new artists. In fact, the artist that did our new shirt, the New Year More Orc shirt, that is an artist that I found. I saw his artwork on Reddit. I was like, man, I really like this guy's stuff. Initiated a conversation, told him who I was, showed him, the channel and the merch store and all that. Looked at his portfolio and said, look, I really want to work together. This is an idea that I have for a shirt that I think you'd be really perfect for. And I think he knocked it out of the park. So that was Dark Force 1. So again, down in the description below, you can see a little blurb on him. Fantastic artist, really loved the artwork that came out of it. And I love having that different style to go with everything else. So we are working with 2 brand new artists right now on 2 different brand new shirts, one of which is for the summer, hoping to launch in July. So right now, second quarter, the new shirt was the New Year More Orc shirt. I was hoping to make that first quarter, but it didn't work, but it's okay. We made that second quarter. More DACA ended up being first quarter. But yeah, so the New Year More Orc shirt was the second quarter shirt. But come and it's been on sale now since April, right? So April, May, June, that gives it 3 exclusive months. Come July, I'm hoping to have this new shirt out from the first of our new artists, which is going to be a summer themed shirt. In fact, we are going to do some really exciting stuff with it. Lots of tank tops, some workout gear. Getting into that summer life, right, is going to be really, really fun. And then the fall shirt we are also working on with a different artist that I'm really excited about too. Like this is a design that I've been wanting to do on a shirt for over a year. That I've done a lot of sketches on. Again, I did Red Squid, guys. Remember, this is 1000% every single pixel is mine. But my artwork, I tend to be able to draw mechanical things really well. Like if we ever do war buggy shirts, like I've got that in spades, no problem. But I have a problem with organics. I'm just not that good at it, especially not to the level where you guys are actually going to want to pay money for it. And the shirt I had, it had all these different elements on it that just I wasn't getting the perspective right. And I found an artist whose style I really liked and his portfolio looked really good. And he is working on that design right now. So we already have the next two designs in the works coming up for summer and fall. But yeah, if I and remember, Red Squig was totally out the side of my mouth too. I was painting the custom Booster Blasta, which has a bunch of cans and bottles laying in it, and everybody paints them like beer or like soda pop, and I painted with like a Red Bull can, and I'm like, haha, some Red Squig makes you go faster, and I was like, ding, immediately. Like that night spent a zillion hours drawing this up. I went through a bunch of different options on like permutations of it and stuff until I really nailed it down. And then because originally it said Red Squig makes you go faster, but Red Bull gives you wings, and I'm like, it doesn't work. And when it gives you wah, it's like, oh, that okay, now we're cooking, right? So there's definitely a process in like taking whatever thing you pull out of your squig and getting it up there. But yeah, talking out my squig is a pretty good one. Maybe not a shirt, but the stickers have been fantastic. If you guys haven't bought any stickers, the sticker set that has the 5 different stickers on the white background is excellent for like slapping on your storage containers and stuff. I could see doing another couple of versions of that with other different artwork and our different sayings and things, which would be really fun. And then we also have our great big giant Chromie fun stickers that you can get individually that are really rad. So again, to redonesgofasta.com. And don't forget, we do have stickers for New Year, more orcs. Why wouldn't you want that sticker on your carrying case? Plus, it gives you a free extra entry to win the Armageddon launch box, or some credit to the merch store to order whatever you want. So there we go. Okay, rules question not answering. Dirt Hermit says, I believe we will see a plastic swim mouth. I think that too. I don't think the mouth that they showed us on the preview thing was a squigoth mouth. The shape was all wrong. I think it's an AOS thing, but I can totally see a plastic squigoth coming. Again, the video I did a couple of weeks ago now on the 5 kits that orc players want the most, a plastic squigoth is on the top 5. Like we would all immediately go buy one. Like immediately. Even if you're not into squigs, like it's a squig off, like it's different. Of course you're gonna want it. So yeah. These aren't rumors, these are ideas. I like that. When I flip my hat over. $30 model boxes are not going to be sold for Warhammer 40K. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Oh, like 30 models in one box. I got you. Okay. So yeah, 30 model boxes are a old world thing, or back in the day, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. 40K has never sold a box that big, like a single squad that's 30 of the same thing. Even when they did like demons and like regular guardsmen and stuff like that, they never had boxes that big. Orc boys used to come in boxes of 16, and there were a few boxes that were boxes of 20. But yeah, I never saw 30 model boxes, and they're not going to do that. So you're not going to get a box of 30 boys or 30 grots. 20 is where it maxes out for 40K stuff. First Weird Boy wants to know, who, by the way, is a channel member. If you see his name right there on the chat, it's in green. That means he is a channel member here on the channel, which is super duper appreciated. If you are a channel member, make sure you DM me over on Discord so you can get your access to the members only section. So super shout out to that from First Weird Boy. But he asks, Old Big Mac, do you think the 11th edition launch box will sell out fast, causing a second release of it like 10th did? That is a great question, honestly. So looking back at launch boxes, first of all, way back in the day, you didn't even know they were coming. They just showed up. And the way they did it was different. The launch box was the starter set. So it stayed in production for the entire run. So the second edition launch box that had Orks and Blight Angels in it was the starter box all of second edition. The third edition box that had the full glue kits, that was the only starter set so far to not be push fit, had the Tactical Squad, the Land Speeder, and the 20 Dark Eldar Warriors and the terrain. That box was on sale the entirety of third edition. It was not limited. Then came fourth edition with against the Ultramarines and the Tyranids. Dang, why is my brain not working? It's not. I keep trying to say Assault and Black Reach, which is the next one. That's the fifth one. Battle for Macragge. I'm like, I've got the box right there. My box is right there. Battle for Macragge was the fourth edition launch box. And that one had the cool Akia Lander terrain piece, plus the Imperial Pilot to go with the squad of Space Marines and it's like a squad of Gene Stealers, a squad of Termagants, and some Spore Mines. It was a really, really cool box. And that box, even though it was a named box, it was the first box that was named and had like a theme to it, and started to get more like an army and again, instead of just a squad like the third edition box. That box was available the whole time. And then Assault on Blackreach came out. That was the fifth edition starter. That's the one that was truly the first one that was two full armies in a box. The Beaky side had a squad of Space Marines, a captain, a squad of Terminators, and a Dreadnought. And then the Orc side, of course, was a War Boss, 5 Knobs, your 20 boys, and the 3 Def Coptas. That box was an all-time great. Leviathan is the first box I think that really does finally usurp it. But I mean, I cannot postulate enough how big it was almost 20 years ago now that box was, right? And that box was available all of 5th edition. And then the 6th and 7th edition starter box was really weird. That was it Dark Imperium or did it have a different name? I can't remember what name it was. I didn't buy it. That was the only starter box I didn't buy. But the 6th and 7th edition starter box was the same box. It was the one that had the Dark Angels army. So it was like some Ravenwing bikes, some Deathwing Terminators, some regular Dark Angels, versus the Chaos stuff that had like Cultists and Legionnaires and like a Hellbrood or something like that. Like it was actually an interesting box, but they really locked themselves in with it being Dark Angels instead of generic Space Marines, just like Battle for Macragge locked in Ultramarines. They all had the U on their shoulders. So you could stand them off. They weren't that terrible, but like you can't run a Ravenwing bike in a regular Space Marine army. Like they're not the same. And Deathwing Terminators are different, right? So I think that box struggled. That box, it was available the whole time and it struggled to sell. I still see copies of that box out in the wild for like cheap prices. 8th edition is where you first got a box that like was a launch box and then disappeared. So they relaunched 40K. They invented Primaris Marines. Death Guard became their whole own fully fleshed out faction with brand new models that were humongous. That box, I think that one was one that was called Dark Imperium. That box did sell out, and they came out with the starter sets, the tiered starter sets that were available the whole time. So they had like this super basic like recruit edition that had like 8 Poxwalkers and 5 Death Guard in it, versus it was like 5 intercessors and I don't even know what else, maybe 5 reavers or something like that. It was a tiny box. And then they had a medium-sized one that had some more models in it, and the box that it came in, you could actually flip it over and use it as a terrain piece. The inside of the bottom of the box was printed like it was a bunker. That one was kind of cool. And then they had a bigger box. And so 8th edition was the first time that they kind of had this thing. But even with that, I don't remember I don't remember, so I might be wrong, but I don't remember it really being like selling out super fast or not being available. Like it may have even been still available as the full Zoot starter box, and then there were like other boxes below. I just remember going into a store, seeing that they had three different size boxes and being able to buy the little one just to check it out because I wasn't sure about Primaris and I wasn't going to do Death Guard, and I just kind of wanted to see. And that was neat. Ninth edition, though, when ninth edition hit, it was COVID. We were all locked up in our houses, and suddenly Indominus came out. And the Indominus box, the Space Marine half, was insane. It was nutter butters. It was like how Armageddon is for us. That's what it was for Space Marine players. And then the same thing on the Necron half. If you were a Necron player, that relaunch of Necrons was the second coming of the Satan. Like, I mean, it was absolutely, you cannot overstate enough how popular this box was with both of those factions, plus it being COVID and everybody being locked inside, and like suddenly you've got, you know, Superman on TV, you know, painting his models, and now everybody else wants to too. That box sold out immediately. I can't remember if they did a second run or not. I think I remember somebody somewhere getting a box months after they were already sold out. Me going like, "How did you get that?" You know, all that stuff. But that box really, really sold out. So when they did Leviathan, that was the first time Games Workshop was really aware of it. And it was like, okay, we're gonna do a launch box, and we're gonna do it in such a way that like we're gonna guarantee people can get it, and we're gonna make the second run. So I think that they will probably do a second run anyway, just because they don't want FOMO. Games Workshop is a giant mega corporation. They make billions of dollars. Their own partially by private equity, right? I'm gonna call them out on their stuff, right? But one of the few things is, as much as you call them out on the bad things, you should also praise the good things. One of the few things Games Workshop has worked really, really, really hard on as of late and has done a legitimately good job with is FOMO and scalpers. They had the hardest time for a while with they'd put something on sale and it would immediately sell out, and it was a bunch of scalpers that got it, and all their stuff ended up on eBay for twice the price, and they hated that. So they've made a zillion changes, things like locking you down to only getting one or two copies of everything. Doing tiered rollouts was actually huge. So every time zone has, you know, an exclusive hour to do the pre-orders that nobody else can do. So it really makes it to where like all of these bots all over the world can't flood the system at once. Like and it's locked in by shipping location. So like even if you know you're in the last time zone, if you try to buy it in the first time zone, they're not going to ship it. Like the order's not going to go through. It's based on shipping address, which is really, really clever. And then again, making sure that they are printing enough for store stock that cannot be pre-sold. The stores don't even know how much they're getting. They just know that, like, look, you are getting shelf stock. That stock is for shelves. If you want to pre-order, give us your number and we're going to meet your pre-orders. And then, yeah, doing lots of made to order second runs, which has been fantastic. So, like, if you missed out on something, and they've even been doing it with like Black Library books and stuff, they're like, hey, if you missed out on this and you want it, here you go. So, I think there's going to be a second run of it no matter what happens. Even if it doesn't sell out, I can see them doing a made to order run just to ensure no FOMO and just to like stick it to dirty scalpers who are lower than death skulls. All right. So I think there's going to be a second run. I don't know that it will necessarily sell out for that to happen. The reason why I'm not entirely sure it's going to sell out is, again, we talked about this earlier in the broadcast. The orc half is far more exciting than the marine half. And because of that, the box, I think, is going to be a weak seller to the marine players. Now, if you are a brand new marine player, if you don't own any Warhammer yet or very little Warhammer, it's great. It's going to give you a lot of things, especially because Leviathan and all the current starter boxes don't have regular intercessors. Remember, they all have the flamethrower dudes, right? The Infernus Marines. So all of these new players within the last 3 years, they don't even have intercessors. So regular intercessors is going to be great for them. The same thing with like the captain with the shield. He's a redo of the guy from Indominus. That's a million years ago, right? It's going to do well enough, but it's not crazy pants like the last three were, right? It's not brand new Primaris Marines like 8th edition was. It's not really crazy, super drippy guys like Indominus was, and it's not new Terminators like Leviathan was, right? You are missing that kapow for the Beakies. So, yeah, I just don't know that's going to be as big for them. All right, let's see. Ooh, Azamak 2401 has a question. Says, I'm building the Warbiker knob and I'm wondering if I should just magnetize the big Choppa and Power Claw or just give him the Power Claw. That is a really good question. None of the stuff that we've seen so far for the Orcs 11th edition has had the Power Claw. And the only reason we know the Power Claw even still exists is this box. If it wasn't for this, people would be running in the streets right now going, there's no more Power Claws, right? They are going back to where the data sheets and the war gear are very, very different and act differently so that you don't just automatically take whatever the biggest strength thing is, which is cool. I would say magnetize because we don't know what is going to be useful or not. We don't know what's going to be like the right choice. And now that they're actually going to be truly different, that's a good thing. All right. Doc51499 wants to know how I feel about the Orc Dakar rig. I love it. I love the wrong trousers. And then any cool kit bash ideas for it? Yes, both ways. I both want to kit bash other kits into being a Dakar rig, and I want to kit bash a Dakar rig into being other things. I know that makes absolutely no sense, but the Big Mac in me absolutely wants to do that. I want to make a Dakar rig out of all of the non-Dakar rig things. There's plenty of different walker legs that we could use for the legs and different turret parts, stuff like that. So building one entirely out of looted components sounds like a lot of fun. But then I also want to take a Dakar rig and kind of take it apart and make like maybe a Gorkanaut out of it or something like that. But yeah, come up with something really cool to make it where it has arms too, because the legs are so cool. And I would love to just figure that out. Then take the turret, like throw it on a battle wagon. I don't know. But I want to do both ways. Yes, Sprocket 40, you are correct. Battle Wagon has been in all the new animations completely to the T. What the current one is, I don't see a new kit coming for it. Plus, again, the Battle Wagon kit, even with all of the extra accessories, takes up less room on a shelf than the truck kit and sells for more money. And of course, more profit. So, yeah, Battle Wagon's not going anywhere. Azamak just says, I hope I'm still able to put a model in the back of the truck when we do get a new one. Yeah, you'll be able to put one in the back. That's the way all the other open top transports work. So, like if you've got the Mechanicus landing craft, you could put like one or two models inside of it. No problem. Maybe three if you shove them in there. And that's it. Same thing with the new guard stuff. They even come with guard guys, and there's like two in the back of the giant truck with the commissar, and like one in the back of the regular truck. So yeah, it's going to be smaller, but I mean, even the current truck, really, you could put one knob on a 40mm base in there. Like you are not putting a whole lot of orcs inside the truck anyway. Ooh, Tau Devilfish same. Loot one of those. Ooh, maybe I will. Just saying, you don't know what these 6 non-truck truck kits are. You just know that they are 6 completely different factions. Yes, Gorka Morka rules was the falling off of trucks. That is correct. In Gorka Morka, your trucks, your buggies, your whatever that would carry the orcs, you would physically put your models on, and then as you moved across the battlefield, if they fell off, they died. But Gorka Morka bases were tiny. They had a metal slot, like a slot base on the models, but it was shorter than the regular slot base. It wasn't, the 25mm wide. And then the base that they went on had the slot hole, but then it was like this funky peanut shape that was really, really tiny. It was just big enough that if you put your model down on the ground, it wouldn't fall over. And that was it. They were not big round bases. So you could fit a lot more in. Plus, let's be fair here. Let's be honest. As you guys saw when I did the giant live stream with the huge Gorka Morka army that was traded into Mindtaker miniatures, they're tiny. They are absolutely tiny. The mega armor knobs of Rogue Trader and Gorka Morka days are like the size of Grots today. Not even joking. There's one right there. We did a whole video on it. Ooh, Suncatcher Mini says we need baby squig upgrade scoops. Absolutely. You know, you could buy like a box of Nurglings or box of skulls. If they sold a box of baby squigs, we would all immediately spend all the teeth on them and have baby squigs on absolutely everything. And so would all the AOS players, right? I see all the hearts coming up on the screen for baby squigs. Yeah, come on. I mean, and how many different ones are there? There's like the flat squigs, and there's the shoulder squigs, and there's the squig with the Ankylosaurus, like, you know, wrecking ball tail. They're all so cool. I love them. Turret from the battle wagon makes a great grot tank. Mount it on tracks of 4-8 spider legs. Oh, that is nice. Spider-legged grot tanks do sound dope. Saturnine, thank you. See, you guys, I'm so far back on chat. You guys were saying Saturnine. That was something that was probably happened about 40 minutes ago. Ashley Kirk 86 wants to know, have I done any more to my biggies? No, I have not. I have not done any more to the models. I have done more thinking. Actually, I take that back. I did some repairs to my models. I had some that took some battle damage. I need a new storage solution. In fact, I'm halfway through watching Blissful Badger's new video on storage solutions. So I'm looking forward to finishing that. I had to stop to do this live stream. Thanks, guys. But I had some battle damage on some guys. So I fixed all the battle damage. So everybody is now ready for primer. I haven't primed them yet because I haven't figured out what color scheme I'm doing. And whatever color scheme I'm doing influences what color the primer is going to be. And then I haven't built anymore because I haven't decided if the regular guys are going to go in the army or not. And here's the thing. All the Space Marines I have built so far have helmets, and none of them have capes or decorations or thing like that. They are all tactical. Which on the sneaky beakies and all the Phobos stuff looks really cool. On the regular stuff is starting to look not cool. And like I've got the jump pack intercessors and the jump pack captain still to go. And I'm trying to decide if I want to have two beaky armies or not. They're not necessarily like they're totally different armies, but like paint them as two different chapters. Obviously, I could run them together. And part of that is I do really like Crimson Fists because they are mortal enemies to the orcs, and the second edition Space Marine poster boys on the artwork on the codex and the Battle Force box, right? And then the new Armageddon kit comes with a full set of the oh no, we die? Chat, can you tell me if we died or not? My I've got a second thing running that has all the chat software on it, and it acted dead. Okay, it's back. So I'm gonna assume we're back now. Okay. If something happened, you didn't miss anything because I just went, are we alive? Can you hear me now? Okay. Cool. What was I saying? Oh, and then because the Armageddon box comes with Crimson Fists decals, that makes me really excited for them. And Crimson Fists do look good with the robes and the drip and stuff. And so now part of me is like, okay, maybe I only build Phobos for my custom chapter, and all of my regular stuff will become Crimson Fists. And so I need to make that decision because that will influence how I build the assault squad, because like I'll glue all the drip on them if they're going to be Crimson Fists. But if I still make them sneaky beakies, then they're not going to get any drip. And then also, obviously, it'll change what color I base coat them in. So that's kind of my holding pattern right now. So maybe we can have a good discussion about it on Discord if you all want to let me know your thoughts or feelings on do I do all my custom chapter only and still do all tactical no drip, or do I do a Space Marines with drip as Crimson Fists and then just a small force of the Sneaky Beaky custom chapter? So yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay. Ooh, Suncatcher Mini got the Saturnine Horus Heresy box for 175. Nice pickup for that. McFadden says, silly idea. Chaos has pirate factions, so I can run CSM and use some orc mercenaries to proxy. Yeah, they're freebooters. Freebooters will work for anybody with some teeth. That'll work it. Doc 51499 says they heard aircraft are all getting removed in 11. They're not getting removed. There's been aircraft specifically in the new army shots for Armageddon for both factions, multiple different aircraft. They aren't going anywhere. I'm sure the rules will change. I'm probably won't get any new aircraft, but they're not leaving. Okay, Nadaka wants to know what would be a good day to post the finished New Year, New Army photos. Close to June 30th, because what I'm going to do is as we get to the end of the contest and toward June 30th, I'm going to go, okay, guys, probably that last week only. Because it's going to be really hard for me to try to find posts from months ago or even weeks ago to include in the big smorgasbord. So I'm going to ask everybody to put in your final entries the last week of June only. And then I'll be able to like really pull it up and look at it. In fact, I might even on Discord, I think what I'm going to do is open up a final contest entry like sub thread thing so that you could post it there, so that they're all in one place. But that's we're gonna do something like that. But again, you've got until June 30th to get your armies done. She'll have until June 30th to actually post. Kumagun says, I'm concerned that the Stern Guard don't seem to have lightning claws or storm shields, right? They're not very Stern Guardy. They're just kind of assault intercessors with power swords. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It moved again. Where did it go? Oh, we got a third super chat. I didn't even see it. I am so sorry, Bobby 3000. Thank you for that. He asked, are Killicans any good in the rules? I have no idea. We don't know anything about 11th edition rules. Literally nothing. We have no idea. Hey, Calvin, Ryder 3195. Good to see you on here, buddy. Oh, Tug Bobo. There we go. He said, the one thing that troubles me going to 11th with 36 bikes, those new eradicators lined up at just out of charge range. Yeah, but again, we don't know how the rules are going to work. Yeah, Difflus and Ashes can relate to Beskrat, overwhelmed by all the orcs you want to make. Yeah, that we're all feeling very overwhelmed by projects there. That's part of why I'm going to do this garage sale thing on the Discord. I got a bunch of stuff I need to get rid of now. I really do. I'm sitting on a pile of Warhammer that needs to get cleared out so that I can get some momentum going on my projects I am working on. Jojo M1 says, my only problem is there are not enough boys in the box. I need 30. Hope the new boys come out fast. They will. They will come out fast. The orc releases will be in the first two waves of release. It'll either go Space Marine and then orc, or orc and then Space Marine. More than likely orc will come first, honestly. Again, based on we found this and not a beaky. But yeah, the multi-part boys kit will be out very, very fast. And honestly, that would be an excellent 30 because the 20 from the launch box, again, you can build them multiple ways. So you're not going to end up with repeats. So you'll have 20 unique figures from the launch box and then get a single box of the new boys for another 10. You will have 30 utterly unique boys. It'll be fantastic. If you want to have 40 utterly unique boys, the Monopose Boys kit can be found at a super steep discount online right now. Grabbing that, slapping the knob on a 40 will be really good too. The only bad thing about that is that there is a single heavy weapon guy in there that we're not real sure are going to still be in the boy squads. But counterpoint, if they are in the boy squads, that's going to give you a spare heavy weapon to put into the squads that are in the launch box. So, glass half full on both ways. Homestead Dork is just going to loot the banner from the Beaky. I like that. I like that. We might do that too. Yo, Ashley Kirk got the Hype Star badge for the channel. Let's go. Thank you for hyping the channel. Much appreciated. That's one of those new YouTube things that they're trying out, is this hype button. It's not available on every video, but when it is available, if you do hype it and like more than one, the more people that hype it, the more hype you get. the more it spreads it out. I've definitely had a video get way like you could see what happens when it gets hyped. So don't hype everything because it loses its thing. But if there's something you really do like, definitely click that hype button if it's there. It really does make a difference. Metal Skull PO3KJ asks, so the big boss, Bananob, and Painboy will get another sculpt later. Maybe. This has been one of those weird things. Games Workshop has had this nasty habit as of late of coming out with characters in the launch box and then never redoing them. It started off with the Dark Imperium one with the Death Guard. There were 3 Death Guard characters in that you absolutely positively could not get. It was in that box and that box only. And then they did the Space Marine Heroes, and they did some Death Guard of those. And I think 1 or 2 of them was an alternate sculpt of the units or of the characters that were in there. But then even those were like, if you couldn't get the blind box, or like you bought the blind box literally blind and didn't know what you were getting, like it was really hard to find the characters. And then they released them as like the standalone thing, online only for really expensive. And just now, the holidays last year, they came out with that 2-player kill team starter set. It was like around $100 that had the cool MDF trade. It has a full squad of the Death Guard heroes, including a couple of extra kits that didn't come in the blind box. And those finally had, I think, another different sculpt. But yeah, just it was really hard to get the sculpt. There was a few Space Marines that were like that as well. And Dominus definitely has Space Marines like that. The sub chaplain guy, what is his name? The guy with the giant sword and the really intense look in his eyes. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but anyways, you could not get him. You could not get the captain with the storm shield, and you could not get one other dude. They were really, yeah, Judiciar. Thank you, the Judiciar. You could not get the Judiciar. He didn't come out again, except for in this like Heroes of the Imperium box. It was like $150. It was stupid. And then that Target exclusive Dawn of War box finally had him in there. That was the first normal time you could get him. It was nuts. So there is a chance that the Painboy, Bananob, and Big Boss like don't get a release, or they become really hard to get. So that is something to keep in mind. That being said, we could Kitbash them. We're orcs. All right, guys, I have been talking for 2 hours straight. We are getting on to 10:15 here. That is way past when I normally get off on these things. So let me see if there's any other really pressing questions, and then we're going to shut this one down for the night because that's a big old live stream. Oh, Dirt Hermit said October shirts are the only limited, but that was more of a seasonal item. Correct. Dirt Hermit is correct. On the web store at theredonesgofaster.com, we had a full line of October merchandise, but they all said October 2025 on them. We sold them from October 1st through the end of 2025. October, you had 3 full months to buy them. We said the whole time you only had 3 full months to buy them. We're going to re-release October shirts. I've said this from the beginning. We will have a new October design. We'll have BenBam update it for 2026, but we will get rid of the year. And we'll have maybe a couple different versions, like how we did the couple different versions of Mordaka. And then that design will stay in perpetuity. So it was just one thing that we learned. We thought it would be really fun to do like this yearly thing and update the design every year, which is cool. But yeah, I think we're gonna forego that and just update the design to not say 2025 and to be, have a couple different versions and go from there. But yeah, seasonal items, not limited. And frankly, if you didn't get one and you're really dying to have a 2025 one, you could just message me and I'm happy to have them print one for you. We have all the files still. We have everything still set up. It's just turned off for ordering. Homestead Dark, yeah, an Orky Hawaiian shirt. I know. I want a Hawaiian shirt with like palm trees and squigs and grots on it. So bad. That is way different than doing a t-shirt though, because you have to actually print the fabric itself, which is very different. Looking at buying giant spools of fabric is a whole nother level. So yeah. Oh, let's go, Calvin Ryder, 1242 there, and just finished 1,600 plus points of orcs for the local game store credit. Let's go. All right, I'm just going to skip down to the bottom. I'm sorry if I missed you. super apologies, but yeah, I've been talking for 2 hours, and just the just keeps coming. Oh, here's one last one from Deflus and Ashes. Do you think we'll get the new Orc Codex in 2027, earlier or later? Dude, way before 2027. We're in the launch box. So how it worked last time with Leviathan came out July of 2023. We had the Tyranid Codex, I want to say in August, and then Space Marine Codex was like right after. They were the first two codexes that came out right away. They were definitely both out in the summer. The same thing will happen with this. We will have the new Orc Codex and the new Space Marine Codex both before the end of summer, guaranteed. That's how they've done it every time. So yeah, 2027. What are you talking about? It'll be only going to make it to fall. All right. Okay. Nandaka said, "Would I consider a mini swap sponsor for Every Kit is an Orc Kit?" Yeah, absolutely. Mindtaker Miniatures has sponsored 2 of our 3 Every Kit is an Orc Kit episodes. I would absolutely take a sponsor for that to do a random kit. It's kind of one of the things we were hoping for. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, we didn't even get to the question, did we? The question was what else could be coming for the Orcs post-Armageddon. I guess I'm just gonna have to do a video later this week because we never even answered that. Oh man, that was wild. But yeah, we'll get to there. So spoiler alert, we didn't get to it. We didn't even talk about it. Oh, I mean, life of being an orc. What do you want? What do you want? All right. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with me tonight and having another super awesome live stream. It was super rad to talk to all of you. Remember to base your knobs on 40 millimeter bases, like old Big Mac has been saying for 10 months now. They look way better and you'll be way happier. Don't forget to redonesgofasta.com. Remember, every single item you buy that is from the every or new year more orcs selection gets you an extra entry into our contest, which you can enter for free by building a army and posting it on our Discord. You have until June 30th to enter that contest. One of you lucky gets will win the brand new Armageddon launch box, courtesy of Old Big Mac, and we're going to have some extra prizes for credits to the merch store. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out the door. Super appreciate each and every one of you. If you missed the live stream at all, it will be posted on YouTube as soon as we're done here. Give it a minute to process, and you can go back and rewatch it. The live stream will replay, or the chat will replay, and all of that jazz. So there we go. That's going to do it for this week. We'll catch you next Monday for sure for another episode of Hobby Hangout. I'll probably do a video between now and then because, again, we didn't answer the question that was in the title. I should probably rename this chat after it posts. But yeah, we'll get that video out there and we'll catch you the next one. Until then, what on? 2 hours.